Bots for the win.
Bot hack number 9, how to track your marketing efforts in your bot pointedly. How to combine growth tools, tags, a folder, and flows into a clean and clear data picture. Visualize what's working quickly. 2 quick programming notes before we get going. 1, this is a bot hack, so if you're listening to the audio only version and you like what you're hearing, there is video, so you can get that, you can follow up on that. And then number 2, I'm switching up the show notes a little bit. It's kind of becoming burdensome to place them everywhere, YouTube, in bot, on the post, in the podcast show notes. So I'm just going to start putting them in the bot going forward. So if there's resources or links or flows or this or that that I mentioned in the episode and you want to get it, you got to get into the bot. It'll be in there. You can either do that by clicking the link that I'll put in the new show notes. Will just be one link instead of all the detailed stuff. Or you can just, pull out Messenger. There's a menu, has all the podcast episodes, all the show notes. Okay, good. Done on that. As I mentioned before, I love the data visualization that bots give us. I think it's just so amazing. There's something just so completely clean and elegant of the way that you're able to visualize your data after you run a campaign. I think it's phenomenal. Now, in today's hack, I'm going to build on this a little bit, and as is often the case, there's a ton of different ways to skin the cat on this one. There's a few different ways you can get it done, even in ManyChat. So I'm going to explain this one first, and then I can address, sort of the tail end why I prefer it to the alternatives. So let's just set up the following. Let's say I'm going to be running a marketing campaign, and let's just say I'm going to be running said marketing campaign about Letterkenny, which is this show on TV. I like the writing. I've been watching it and laughing. And so at the center of this marketing campaign is going to be a flow, right? And so I'm going to leverage a number of different ways to get people to this flow. And I've used the analogy before that the bot is your freeway, and then all of the ways that you get people into your bot, the growth tools, are the on-ramps. And so in this case, let's just say this very, very simple card. So I take that's a hard no. This is Squirrely Dan, a character from Letterkenny. Let's say this is my flow, this is my freeway, this is my main piece of content. In terms of on-ramps, I'm going to send an email to my list. I'm going to send a broadcast to my Messenger subscribers. I'm going to leverage a Facebook post with a comment to growth tools. I'm going to have a link in my Instagram profile. I'm going to have a link in my Instagram stories. And let's say I'm going to enlist 3 friends who are going to do me a solid, and they're going to mention this particular piece of content. And so I've got 3 links there. Now, they're a quick and dirty way. Let's just say you're short on time. You got to just get this thing out the door. Your boss is yelling at you. You're already late. Well, then you could get this whole thing done with one reference URL, one growth tool reference URL, and one Facebook comment post, right? You could use the same email. You could use the same link for the email, for the Instagram stories, for your friends they're going to share. And if it was quick and dirty and you needed to get it done, quick and dirty is just a stupid way. I got to stop saying that. But if it was just quick and you just needed to get it out the door, the just ship it mode, you could do that, right? That's easy enough, and it would all actually work. The smart way to do it, though, the smart marketer realizes that he wants to understand his tracking, or she wants to understand her tracking and her attribution. And so what will we do? We would create a separate growth tool for each one of those instances, a separate on-ramp for each one of those instances. And so there's a link for your email, and there's going to be a link for your Instagram profile, and a link for your Instagram bio, and the comment to growth tool is separate. And then you're going to give each of your 3 friends 3 different reference URLs. And that already levels you up quite significantly. That's one way to skin the cat, as I mentioned earlier, where once this thing's over with and done, you can analyze and look at all the growth tools, and hopefully you've named them cleanly so you've got them all in one filtered view. And you can look at that and you're like, okay, I know who did well here and what kicked butt and what didn't. Certainly a way to do it. I take it even a little bit step further than that, and sticking to my analogy, the bot is the freeway. The on-ramps are the growth tools. Well, I put a step in between the two of them that I'm going to call the toll booth. And so I put toll booths on the on-ramps before they get into the freeway. And what these essentially are is they're just one stop before they get into our flow of Squirrely Dan here. And I should have them. I hope I've got this pulled up. No, I don't. Just bear with me for a second while I grab this. Of course, I'm not ready. What am I doing? I'm doing growth tools. Stick with me here. Okay. So let's say this is an example of an on-ramp. What do you normally do? You have your growth tool and it goes right into the bot, into that main flow. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add an additional step. And you can see here, I've got this thing named, and I've got brackets, and I've got SD, Squirrely Dan. That's just what I'm calling this thing, character on the show. Then I've got IG profile, and then I've got in parentheses URL. And so Squirrely Dan is the content, IG profile is where this is taking place, where the link is going to be placed, and then the type of growth tool it is, URL. That's sort of the naming structure that I like. And instead of sending this directly into the Squirrely Dan flow, I'm going to, and I'm just going to open this flow, I'm going to send it to the toll booth. What is the toll booth going to do? It's going to add a tag, and then it's going to throw you right to the main flow. So that's it. It's just that simple of a thing. One tag, throw you right to the flow. And what happens when you do this, and let me get to where am I supposed to be? Here it is. So you can see now I've got this Squirrely Dan folder, right? And I've got my main flow. I called it attentions paid main flow. I've got my main flow in this folder, and then I've got all of my various different toll booths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got my Instagram story. I've got my email. I've got my inbot share. I forgot to mention that one. I'm using that too. I've got my Facebook comment. I've got my friends, Miss Katie, Daryl, and Wayne, that are all going to help us. I've got my ManyChat broadcast, and I've got my Instagram profile. And what happens once this is all done, and I've got a real world example. Again, I didn't ask permission, so I'm going to have to blur some things out here, but I'll show you. Here's his growth tools that he used for this thing, right? And you can see sort of the same naming structure. He's got a QR code that he used. He's got a URL, a comment, and then he got some help from another bot. And instantaneously in the growth tools version, I can see everything. I can see the opt-ins, and this is like the first step. This is one way to do it, and it's in there. The other way to do it, though, when I jump into the actual folder, and the folder is the key to this, but when I jump into the folder here, and this is a Facebook contest here, and so you can see contest is the main flow. Additional entries are the additional entries. I mentioned this in a previous episode. And then here are all the toll booths. But when I look at this after the fact, after this contest, it's run its course, it's done, I'm now able to pop right in here and instantaneously and visually get a really, really accurate read of what happened, what went down. I mean, I see that 7 people scanned his QR code, and 17 people came from Instagram, and 97 people shared his contest inside the bot, which is awesome. 56 people came from the Facebook. A total of 339 people got into his contest. This other bot sent 158, and 177 people went into his additional entries. And all of that is in this folder, just boom, done, ready to go. And it's really quite impressive because you essentially have your entire marketing campaign in one folder, ready to go, ready to rock. And I'm finding that this is a very, very intelligent way of organizing things because you've got your entire marketing campaign in a box. You know, you're gonna run a contest again in another quarter. You don't want, to have to go into the growth tools and filter things down and potentially give tags and do this, that, and the other. There it is. There's the whole thing dropped in a folder, ready to rock. If you need to look at it, you need to analyze it, you need to do anything. Also, by running all of the tags, I have all of these various different cohorts isolated, right? And so I've got QR isolated and IG isolated, or if I go back to my example, I've got the profile and ManyChat broadcast. And let's just say, to give you a perfect example, let's say I run this contest, a month and a half goes by. I've got it all in my Squirrely Dan folder here, and I'm curious. I want to do a cohort analysis, and I want to say, I wonder, 3 months have gone by now, whose audience was better for me? Whose audience did more business? And so I would look at Miss Katie, Daryl, and Wayne, and I just analyze all 3 of them and say, which one of those gave me a higher LTV? Like which one of those customers were the best? And if I have it ready to go in this folder and the tags, it's much easier for me to export it. And I just really, really like, I think, the cleanliness of it all. So that's a way that I've liked to do visualization. I like having it all clean, ready to rock in a folder. Very, very simple to view, very, very simple to keep things organized. So that's the hack for today. I think at a minimum, it's incredibly, incredibly impressive, or incredibly, incredibly powerful when you're running your contests, to really be able to keep things organized and to be able to add layers in when you're maybe you're adding new links as you're going along. Like, you just want to keep generating the growth tools, adding the toll booth, making sure all your tags are clean, because the presentation after the fact is really impressive. And I would also say, for those of you guys that are, the consultants out there, and you're running these things for other customers, like, let me tell you, the decision makers, the CEO, whoever it is going to seriously appreciate you if they're able to come in and see your entire effort, all of the work, everything that you've done, visualized in stats, right? Like just boom, right there. Like they drove 177, 158, 39, 56, 97. So you can instantaneously rattle everything off, and your work, your intelligence, your brilliance is all located in one folder. Very nice. We love it. So on that note, thanks for listening. And as always, have a great day. Thanks for checking out that video. I hope you got a ton of value out of it. If you did, I would be elated, thrilled, over the moon. If you consider subscribing, you can do that by hitting the subscribe button below. Also, this entire operation is about bots. I mean, what are we doing here? So the best way to learn about it, to see the best stuff that I share, is to get into my bot. You can do that by pulling out your phone. It's in your pocket right now. Open Messenger, search for Bots for the Win, click Get Started, and I'll see you in the bot. I share a ton of unique killer stuff in there. Patrick, Bots for the Win. Thanks for watching my video on YouTube. The question becomes, what are you going to do next? Are you going to watch a new one? Because
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.